If you spend hours sitting through long meetings or editing endless footage just to find that one golden moment, you need to hear this. I have been testing a workflow hack lately that honestly feels like I hired a professional backstage editor to work around the clock. It is called Vizard, and for creators, marketers, or anyone stuck in the content grind, it is a total game changer for your productivity. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dan, and I love digging into tools that actually save time and make our content look sharper. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button, and if this breakdown helps you reclaim your time, drop a like so the algorithm finds you. Today, I am going to show you exactly how I use Vizard to turn long recordings into short, snackable clips without babysitting the process. Think about your average day of back-to-back meetings, long podcast interviews, or those exhausting 3-hour live streams. There are always those hidden gems, the one-liners, or the massive aha moments buried deep inside those long files. But manually finding, trimming, exporting, and captioning those clips is a massive time sink that drains your creativity. You could hire an editor, but that is expensive and slow, and mobile apps often feel clunky or manual when you are trying to scale. Vizard changes that by automatically finding the viral moments, chopping them up, and prepping them for every social platform. It is not just about cutting clips though, because the auto-scheduling and content calendar features make it feel like a true assistant. Let us break down how I use it in real life, the features I actually rely on, and why it beats doing everything by hand. First, I record a long session, like a customer interview or a YouTube video, with zero concern for special choreography or trimming. I just hit record, let the conversation flow naturally, and save the raw file for the software to handle later. Next, I drop that raw file into Vizard and let the system do its magic by analyzing the content in the background. Within minutes, it spits out a batch of potential clips that it believes will perform well based on engagement signals. Each clip comes preloaded with captions, suggested thumbnails, and even a draft for your post description. Then, I skim the selections, make minor tweaks if I want to, and either post immediately or queue them for the week. I can set everything to run on autopilot, which means I don't have to stress about manual posting times anymore. Finally, there is the content calendar view, which keeps everything organized and shows exactly what is going live and when. If you are working with a team, you can easily rearrange clips or assign them to collaborators for that final review. Why does this beat the manual grind of editing? Because you are saving hours of tedious work every single week. Manually creating 10 or 15 snackable clips would normally take me an entire morning, but this automation does the heavy lifting instantly. Now, let us compare it to other options out there so you can see why it fits into that sweet spot for content creators. Tools like Descript are amazing for text-based editing, but they still require a lot of hands-on audio cleanup and manual trimming. CapCut is great for one-off creative projects, but it doesn't really scale when you have a massive library of long-form content. Hiring a human editor is always a solid choice for high-end polish, but it creates a bottleneck when you are waiting on someone else's schedule. Vizard lands right in the middle, offering smarter automation than basic tools without the cost or wait time of a full editing team. It is not a replacement for frame-accurate movie cutting or intense visual effects, but for social-first content, it is truly fantastic. Let us talk about the specific features I find myself using the most, starting with that auto-editing for viral clips. It uses audio cues and engagement signals to intelligently cut the parts that people will actually watch and share. I have been genuinely surprised by clips that performed well, which I would have skipped over if I was doing the manual cutting myself. Then there is the auto schedule, which is a lifesaver for keeping your content output consistent even when you are busy. If you have ever posted at a random hour and wondered why your engagement tanked, this tool fixes that by posting when your audience is active. The content calendar is arguably the most underrated feature, as it turns what was once a chaotic process into a predictable pipeline. Beyond those core features, the auto-generated captions are a massive win for accessibility, especially since most people watch without sound. Plus, the automatic format suggestions for vertical or horizontal screens save me from all the tedious resizing and export fiddling. I want to share a real-world example of how this workflow saved me during a 2-hour strategy session last week. The meeting was full of great insights, but finding the shareable one-liners would normally take forever after the call ended. I uploaded the raw recording to Vizard, and it generated over a dozen candidate clips within just a few minutes of processing time. I polished up a couple of them with quick caption edits and scheduled 3 posts for the upcoming week in one sitting. One of those clips performed incredibly well, driving way more traffic to our long-form video than I ever expected. I spent maybe 10 minutes on the whole thing, which is miles better than the hours I used to spend on the same task. Of course, it is not perfect, and it is definitely not a replacement for a full-scale nonlinear editor if you need extreme granular control. Sometimes the AI might miss a nuanced moment, so I always recommend doing a quick scan before you hit publish on anything. But for creators who need speed, the trade-offs are tiny compared to the sheer amount of time you get back in your day. In terms of pricing, it can be quite cost-effective, especially when you consider that you are bundling editing, scheduling, and management. It cuts down on the number of individual subscriptions you need to pay for, which is a nice bonus for your overhead costs. So, who is this actually for? It is for podcasters who want to turn episodes into promos, streamers wanting more short-form output, It is also for small agency teams who need a predictable pipeline without having to micromanage every single posting detail. And if you are a marketer, this allows you to scale your social distribution with minimal overhead, which is basically the holy grail. If you create long-form content, Vizard is genuinely worth testing because it is the closest thing to having an editor on autopilot. Personally, it cut my post-production time by more than half and really helped me maintain the posting cadence I needed for growth. That is the full run-through for today, but if you want a deeper walkthrough of the specific settings I use, leave a comment. I would love to help you figure out the best clip lengths and hook styles for your specific type of content. If this video was helpful, please smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tools that make work easier. I appreciate you hanging out with me to learn about this, and I will see you in the next one.